Hi, so I'm here today with Father Jim, who is the vicar at St Mary's in Totnes. They're currently undergoing some very interesting renovations. I'd like to introduce Father Jim. If you'd like to tell us a little bit more about the history of the church, a potted history, and what we're doing to update the church at the moment.
Yeah, great. So it's the church that you see these days is the third church on the site. So there's been a church there for 1,000 years, starting with a Saxon church. Then there was a Norman one. Then this one was largely a single rebuild in the 15th century. The only thing that's happened since then is the Victorians added on an extra north aisle, so it's got 4 aisles rather than 3. Everything in the church should be in 3s, but the Victorians added on.
Yes, of course, for the Trinity.
They've made it lopsided. The Victorians did lots of other things. They took out the old stone floor and replaced it with tiling, and they replaced the box pews with long bench pews to accommodate more people. They also took down the old wooden rood screen. So the church is famous because it's one of 4 parish churches in England that's got a stone rood screen running the full width of the medieval church. But of course, it would also have had a wooden balcony on top where performers and things would have happened. And
so musicians for the services.
Yeah, musicians for the services, amongst other things. But the Victorians took that down, sadly. I'd quite like it if they'd left it. But unfortunately, the work they did wasn't of the highest quality. They couldn't really quite afford to do quite what they wanted to. And what we've been doing in this current reordering is replacing a lot of the work at floor level that they did. So we've basically rebuilt the entire nave floor. The whole floor has been done as new again.
What's happening to the heating then? Because normally a church would have an underfloor heating.
Yeah, we can't do underfloor heating because of the archaeology. It's a very important site. As soon as you go down more than 50 centimetres, you just encounter loads and loads of burials. So so we should have to rebuild. So we wanted to leave all that undisturbed. And also because the challenge, that building is basically one big airspace, very difficult to heat in any kind of way that's environmentally sustainable. So what we've gone for is heating the person rather than the air. So we're putting in far infrared heaters, which are they're church chandeliers, but they also function as heaters at the same time. And they project a cone of heat downwards up to 21 degrees. So that's the aim, stop some of the drafts and basically switch to all electric heating, which is partly powered by solar and partly by hydro from the weir at Totnes.
Oh, fantastic. That's quite a way away.
Towards locally generated energy as much as possible. Yeah.
So that's kind of in keeping with Totnes and what Totnes is all about, sustainability, recycling, being environmentally aware. Obviously, this post is going to go out to our friends in Salfete, and one of the things that they were talking about in the meeting was that they were keen on installing solar power. Of course, they're going to have a lot more sun than we are in Totnes.
Certainly will, yes. I mean, we've covered the whole low south aisle roof in solar panels, but actually that wouldn't generate enough electricity to run our heating system. But we would certainly in the summer be generating enough to be able to export surplus to the town. And then in the winter, of course, when we need the heating, we'd hope to draw it from other renewable sources. I mean, it's ironic that the biggest south-facing roofs in the whole country, in every village in this country, are church roofs.
Of course they are, because they're always built on the east-west axis.
So the mood has shifted now much more towards putting solar panels on them. Because it's an amazing way of capturing free energy.
And how long, Father Jim, have you been the vicar here at Totnes?
5 years, just over.
5 years. And where were you before that?
In the Thames Valley.
How have you found this different?
Oh, it's totally different. Yes, I mean, my last parish had a population of 24,000, and it was one of 4 parishes making up the town centre in the town. I've oversight of 8 parishes here. I doubt whether there's 15,000 people in the whole 8 parishes. So it's much smaller populations, but that also means that you get to know people. There's much more of a sense of community. Things are much more. I love Totnes. I've known it for 30 years, so it's a great place to minister. But it's a rural parish.
It's a rural parish. However, the church itself hosts a lot of events outside just normal weekly services.
Yes.
So it's become a space that very much the community can use.
Yeah.
Is that partly because of its location on the high street? It's very easy to access.
Yes, that's right. It's a combination of a good high street location, the particular unique characteristics of Totnes, and also because it's the vision of the church, certainly of myself, that it's a sacred place for everybody, not just for those who worship in there in Christian worship on a Sunday. So we've quite increased the amount of music events and spoken word events that happen in the church. and we want everybody to feel a sense of ownership in relation to it, because it belongs to the whole town, not just to those of us who are temporarily have its custodianship.
Thank you very much, Father Jim. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you, and I look forward to meeting you again when we hold some music events, one of which will be the Vigil for the Children of Gaza. It will be on November the 1st. Thank you so much for hosting us. Father Jim's been fantastic in making sure that we are able to have spaces in which to fundraise and for people to come and make donations for Gaza. And Father Jim himself has been at the march in London, where he himself took on the brave task of being arrested in the name of Palestinian action. So, Father Jim, we are hugely grateful for everything you do for the town, and look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you, Father Jim.
Bless you.
Thank you.